Hi there, happy Chinese New Year, and thank you for tuning in. Here wishing you all good health, good fortune, and more shoes. So on the first day of the Year of the Dragon, let's do a top 10 basketball shoes from Chinese brands. I did do a list like this last year, so this time I'll try to update with some new faces. These are not necessarily all brand new releases, but they are at least the most recent or currently available. Wave of Weight 11, I still haven't heard much about it yet, but Kyrie's first signature shoe with Anta is coming out soon, by the way. Should be a fresh list today, except for the number one pick maybe, but that's an all-timer. If you enjoy this type of videos and you'd like to see more good stuff from Chinese brands, please let me know by dropping a like. Consider subscribing if you haven't. Here we go. I only have two honorable mentions, Yushuai 17 Low and AR1. With the Yushuais, the 18 has just dropped. 17 Low was great for me, but there was nothing unique about it. And soon you'll see a shoe on one of the very top spots here that is basically an upgraded version of these. So yeah, worth mentioning. Let's put it that way. The Rigorer AR1, I know I haven't done a video on these all this time. I hate to disappoint you, but to be absolutely honest, this shoe still has a long way to go to be considered a top 10 for me. But it's great to see a new brand growing. Their marketing efforts have clearly paid out. Like when I did their Sniper 2 video, I had to first explain who Austin Reeves is. I just can't ever praise a shoe when it has nothing top tier except for the traction. You know, the cushion, comfort, that dysfunctional outrigger part, to be specific, they got lots to improve on. All right, starting the list at number 10, I have the Li-Ning Speed 10. This one I haven't done a separate video on yet, but in the simplest way to explain it, this is almost a niche shoe for guards because of the minimal upper construction and extremely low weight. Cushion with boom is great for its price, around 130 bucks I think. Grip is excellent, it stops you very well, but I have concerns with the stability, containment, and fit. So the ranking of the Speed 10 really depends on your playing style and build. If you're a lightweight, fast and shifty guard, this could be like a top 5 of all brands for you. But if you're a bigger player and if you have really wide feet, this might even be a no-go. And because of this being more of a specialty shoe, I'll leave it here, but it is for sure good enough to be a top 10. Next up at number 9 is a familiar face, but a new version. 808 Ultra V2 from Wave of Weight. I did talk about this shoe quite a lot actually. So to summarize everything, amazing traction on clean and dusty courts. Nice and stretchy sock collar that makes it a high top. Materials are slightly improved from the 808 Ultra. So this time there's no pinching or folding over extended runs. I think both of the black and white colorways turned out looking great on the court. They just released a violet or light purple one too. Not sure if they'll make a V2 for the regular 808, but we'll see. For now, the Ultra V2 is a great choice if you like something of a higher cut. Moving on to number 8, this was one that I had high hopes for. My expectations are mostly met, but there is one downside to it. It does have a somewhat nasty price tag. So this is the Big 3 Future from 361 Degrees. Basically the Nikola Jokic shoe, the only shoe he's worn after signing with them. Well, his is the high top version. So the best part about the Big 3 Future is the cushion and bounciness. For a guy like Jokic, who wore the GT jumps most of the time with Nike, it only makes sense that this shoe has a deluxe cushion setup from 361 Degrees. Very responsive, caged to the right amount. So the foam presses down well, absorbs impact well, and you can really feel the stacked up midsole right under your feet. Downside is dust pickup. This also is like a dust magnet, and given the traction pattern, it's pretty hard to wipe off too. But performance is still okay. I just wish the grip was stronger and more consistent, but that might just be the translucent also. Also 160 bucks makes me concerned about how much that Joker 1 is going to be, because this is pretty expensive given their past low prices. Standard true to size fit, it basically has the Jordan 37 materials, but it's much more comfortable than the Jordan 37. Number 7 is probably the most comfortable shoe here, the Li-Ning JB 2. And comfort alone, I'm really not exaggerating. These are super smooth and cozy on feet. It looks like a tennis shoe, feels like a running shoe, but really is a basketball shoe. Who knows, maybe playoff Jimmy wanted it that way. I do wish the traction performance was better and more consistent. From my experience, they still haven't really figured out how to execute that honeycomb foam outsole, like the Curry Flow. No squeak at all. If the grip is stronger, lockdown is more secure, this shoe can top the list easily. But again, it's not perfect. The outsole and some heel slippage together put a limit on the JB2 at number 7 to me. Plus, it's hella expensive. From number 6 and up, these are all pretty much shoes that I would put in the S tier in terms of performance. So we really have a lot of amazing options from Chinese brands. It's not even that these are able to compete against brands like Nike and Adidas, but in fact, some of them are simply better. Anyways, number 6 is my personal favorite as of now, the Fission 9 from Wave. Extremely comfortable, very waifu friendly. It has a nice and spacious toe box fit. Traction is absolutely fantastic, even on my usual dusty court. Compared to the JB2, both are a fun ride, easy to break in, but what differentiates the two is that the Fission 9 has better traction, as simple as that, and it's a lot more affordable. Okay, top 5 now. I have another 361 degrees shoe, and you might have guessed it already. This is the Aaron Gordon signature shoe, the AG4. Also, comparing it directly against their other shoe on this list, the Big 3 Future, the AG4 is only $100, but has much better traction. And I also want to point out that by traction alone, this is probably my number 1 pick from last year out of all shoes, all brands, not just Chinese brands. Everywhere I go, this can be a safe backup in case the newer pair doesn't work out well. These guys are also pretty bouncy. Lockdown is good. Materials are cheap, but no surprise there. I mean, I wasn't expecting like a premium touch in hand. So yeah, great value for its price. Grips like a beast, and definitely a top 5 for me from Chinese brands. Next, we have an Anta shoe. Almost perfect, but it just has such a nasty price tag, and that is the Shockwave 5 Pro. First things first, these are extremely lightweight. Gives you great speed and agility, but the TPU caging also ensures that it won't be too soft. Step-in comfort was incredible too. I was good to go right from the start. Even if you're not a guard, or let's say you're a slower player like I am, this can still be very enjoyable to hoop in. You know, I'm more of a Chinese Boris Diaw than a Canadian Kyrie. For something that feels light and fast, this is my go-to choice. A little bit of heel slippage. I bought one of those heel pads for dress shoes and fixed it that way. Anyways, I still have yet to get the KT9. Yeah, I bought it, just waiting for the next batch or someone to come here from China. Kyrie's first signature shoe is looking great, so I'm sure there'll be more Anta shoes added to the list later this year. At number 3, this was easily a top 3 pick for me in multiple categories. Given how much I've talked about it already, I'll try to make it short. All City 12 is a very versatile shoe. Great for guards, but also has the stability and midsole construction to hold up well for heavier players. Compared to the All City 11, it lost some weight to catch up with faster movements. The materials became more sturdy. Perhaps the only downside is that the fit almost shrinked a little bit, so it's much tighter and more snug than you think. But that totally depends on your foot shape. Could be a good thing for some people. All right, at second place, I just did a separate video on it. Second place was a safe pick, because it's one of those that gives you an A+ experience in pretty much every aspect, the Li-Ning Liren 4. I often compare this line to the Nike Hyperdunks. For a team shoe with no signature athlete behind it, the Lirens have surpassed the Yushuais. The TPU mesh provides a better wrap around your feet. The Liren 3 and 4 both have slightly better traction than the Yushuais from my experience, and they feel more fluent on feet. What makes it even better is that this is a very user-friendly shoe, like I always say. You don't have to be an elite player to be able to enjoy it. They are easy to break in, and your experience playing in these should be very consistent. And that, to me, is the part where it edges the All City 12. It caters to a broader range of players, if that makes sense. Like the All Cities, you might need to first break in the traction a little bit, especially on a dusty court. Nothing as such needed on the Liren 4. Now, the best shoe from all the Chinese brands in my opinion, is still the wave weight 10 low. Here I grabbed the low top version. Technically you can't find the original version anymore, but both the regular and low are amazing. Not much difference, except for the cut around the collar. I admit this is also a politically correct pick because it's not recent. Where is the WOW 10? No way of weight 10. These guys were first released in spring of 2022. Almost 2 full years later, this is still number 1. They're still making more colorways occasionally, and we're still waiting for the 11. Super bouncy, partly thanks to the extended carbon fiber plate that adds more to the springiness. One of the most consistent traction performances out there. Full length boom with a fairly decent weight. Good luck finding a pair or getting one for a reasonable price. But pure performance wise, it's hard to take down the wave weight 10 from the top spot. Arguably their best hoop shoe made like ever. So that's my top 10 from Chinese brands as of now. There's so many more excellent performers from those companies. Li-Ning and Anta continue to dominate. Li-Ning especially, because wave weight is killing it, and they offer such a great variety of hoop shoes for us to choose from. As a Chinese guy, I'm honestly more than happy to see those brands continue to grow. But again, I have no loyalty when it comes to sneakers. I genuinely enjoy a nice pair from any brand, really. My personal favorite brand, Peak, is not even out here. With that said, what's your favorite shoe to play in from a Chinese brand? Let us know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.